Authorities of the University of Cape Coast have been lining up students all morning to screen them for Ebola. Joy News' Central Regional Correspondent Richard Kujunyako says there are long, winding queues of students, mostly freshmen, at the entrance of the university. Get an update now. Richard Kujunyako is joining me over the telephone. Hello, Richard.
Hi, Kamini.
What more can you tell us about this?
Well, school just reopened for the freshmen and women of the University of Cape Coast, and I have visited a lot of the halls. I've gone to the Atlantic Hall, I've gone to Kesleyford Hall, I've gone to Valco Hall, and my observation is that there are long winding queues. At Valco, I saw about 200 people in a queue. At Casford, about 150. At Additional Hall, about 200 and something. They have all lined up to be screened for Ebola.
I see.
They are giving forms. And let's quickly go through the form. If you get a form, you get your name, your registration number, whether you're a Ghanaian, you state it, at which level you are going, the hall of residence, your email, and they ask you some questions. Have you had contact with an ill person bleeding from the mouth, nose, or anybody opening, excluding menses and females within the last 3 weeks? So you take yes or no. If yes, please state how long, and then you state it. Have you had any physical contact with any of the following: dead animal or their droppings last 3 weeks? You take as appropriate. So if it is bat, you answer yes or no. If it is monkeys or chimpanzees or gorillas, you also take yes or no. Antelope, then you take yes or no. Or if there are others, you specify. Now, the next level you go to, have you had any of the following within the last 3 weeks? So you go to fever, you take yes or no. Headache, yes or no. Muscle pain, bodily ache, yes or no. Sore throat, vomiting, diarrhea, reddening of eyes, reddish or peely rash, recent bleeding from any part of your body, excluding menses in females. Now, it is just like an interview setup. And the way people are in the queue, their bodies are touching, one person will touch the other and all of that. And so that is the process that they are undergoing. So it is just an interview sort of, and under this blazing sun, the freshmen and women, as fresh as they are in the queue, waiting for their turn to be screened before they can go through the normal processes in the various halls of residence.
How are they reacting to this process, especially the fact that they would have to deal with the sweats from other colleagues?
Well, because they are fresh and they are eager to be part of the university community, I think their reaction hasn't been that intense or something, but some of them have obviously been complaining. But, you know, all of them want to go through the process, get the identification cards and all of that in order to be part of the university. And so their reaction hasn't been. But from a casual or a pedestrian point of view, you question, how on earth could these people be lining up or be in the queue for that long? Because you know that Ebola spreads through contact and all of that. And so maybe by the time they will finish with the exercise, if someone has had any Ebola, the person would have spread it already or something. Yeah.
Let's just say the students are okay with this. Should there be a case or a suspected case, how do authorities or management of the school intend to deal with this? Is there an isolation center in the school?
Well, if you go to every hall, at the frontage of every hall, you see a table mounted with two people. One, I suspect, might be a medical officer. They have their nose mask and all of that. And so that is them. Then the table, they have forms and the nose mask. They have gloves on. And so these are the things I have cited from all the halls I've been to. And so I do not really know what really would be done if there is an outbreak of Ebola here.
I see. We'll leave it here for now. Thank you very much, Richard. Richard Kujunyako joined us from the Central Region, specifically the University of Cape Coast. Meanwhile, at the University of Ghana down here in Accra, students have had to fill forms before making their way to campus. The move forms part of a process to screen fresh and continuing students for the Ebola virus disease. Joy News' Matilda Pomaga is on campus for us. Tiri, you're welcome to the program.
Hello. Thank you.
What have you observed?
Well, I first went to the lecture hall to find out if lectures have indeed started since school has reopened, and I managed to get some students to stick to it. And then, indeed, many of these students are filling the online registration of this Ebola forms, and then some of them tell me they have filled it, but others haven't filled it. Why haven't they filled it? Because it is not mandatory for their whole. So we are yet to speak to the authorities to find out why some are filling and others are not filling. Because what these students tell me is that for the traditional hall, it's mandatory. You need to get that form, fill it, print it out, and then submit it, including other clearance forms, before you are given the keys to your hall. But for the other halls, it's not a requisite for you to present before you are given the keys to your hall. So for these students, they're just going about their duty. But many of them have questioned if indeed this form is going to really be very effective, because in the heat of the moment, you are being asked to go and bring this form. Many of them just seek what comes with it. Like, have you had in contact with any person with Ebola and things of that stuff? So you just have to just print it out, pick something, and just present it. Your hall is asking for it. So for the students, they are calling for a more intensified measures to address this, because it's not only those residing on campus who are going to really be taking part in the lectures. They are going to have students who are coming all the way from town, outside hostels, coming for lectures. And if these students are not going to go through this process, then what becomes the essence of these forms that they are filling? So for the students, filling of this form is not really a measure to check this Ebola, but more proactive measures should be set up by the university authorities. And so we'll be speaking more with the authorities. We haven't been able to speak to any of them yet, because I'm told they are in a series of meetings this morning. So we'll also try to get in touch with
you recall that indeed these universities were given time to bring their
come up with their measures.
Absolutely.
Their
now that you're on campus, tell us what you observed beyond the filling of forms.
Beyond filling of forms, I haven't seen anything like an isolation unit, a center. I don't know if it's all underway, but I haven't spotted anything yet. At least I've been to 3 halls, Liman, Legon, and then Papon Hall. I haven't seen anything of that sort. And, you know, for these senior tutors, they would also not speak until they get clearance from above. So we are still trying to find out from them if indeed they have brought out their plans as to addressing the Ebola outbreak.
In University of Ghana, for instance, lectures are supposed to start today. What will be your measure of preparedness in the school for any possible case of Ebola?
When I got to the hall, I think where the psychology lectures were supposed to take place today, it wasn't really full to capacity. About 30 students there who waited for like more than 30 minutes. The lecture wasn't showing up, so they just had a call that has been called off to Thursday. For these students, they are around waiting for lectures to begin. But as to these measures, even some of them are not even aware that they are supposed to print out forms and then fill forms, things of that sort. So most of them are just going about their normal activities on campus, signing in, registering, and then packing to their home. Nothing really much is going on here.
I see. Matilda, thank you very much for that update. Matilda Pamaga joined us from the University of Ghana. Away from that, the Executive Secretary for the Coalition of NGOs in Water and Sanitation has taken a swipe at the research institutions for their inability to conduct research into the sanitation crisis in this country. Ben Arthur believes that such research works will help the country solve the sanitation crisis internally. He was speaking on clean communities.
We have institutions who conduct research. How many institutions have conducted research in the area of sanitation and have made that available to potential entrepreneurs? Those who have done it have put it on their shelves. But we also have graduates or people who are not ready to start in this area, researching into what is out there in terms of sanitation, and use it as a basis to develop the market or develop a business enterprise in that regard. About the people themselves and how they are taught, their thought processes. Secondly, what is out there when they have come out of school and they are looking for jobs and thinking of creating their own jobs. What are the business opportunities out there?
Ben Arthur also opines that government has not done enough to rid the city of filth.
No, I won't say government has done enough. It's now that this thing, in terms of opening up for looking at sanitation as a typical business, because those who even have the tanker services, we don't see them as business entities, but they are business only that we will call them informal sector.
Now, when you get your new phone, what you need is great customer service from telecommunications companies here in Ghana. And so here in Ghana, they are expected to start using uniform short codes for their various customer service activities from today, Monday, 8 September 2014. The National Communications Authority says it is collaborating with telecommunication companies to make this a reality. Director General of the NCA, Parok Van Persie, has reiterated the need to harmonize all short codes for general customer services across all networks. Activities that would require the same short codes include credit checking or recharging, credit balance, and call center enquiries. Others are value-added services such as bulk SMS, short audios and videos are present. The telecommunication companies in Ghana use different short codes for different customer services. Time now for some sports news here on News. We'll start off from the camp of the Black Stars, where Ghana coach James Kwesi Appiah insists he has not thought of resigning from his role as Black Stars head coach, suggesting he cannot afford the compensation clause in his contract. Pressure has been mounting on the 56-year-old to quit his post after the Black Stars failed to beat the Ugandan Cranes in Kumasi in a Group E AFCON qualifier on Saturday.
Thank you. I think, talking about yesterday's game, personally, I was not that much, impressed with the performance. And I also believe that if you look at the game again, you get to know that we create a lot of scoring opportunities, which unfortunately we could not utilize. Playing at this high level, once you get any opportunity, you need to make sure, you put it in. I said before our game that I've been able to watch two of the Ugandans game, and I said that they are really a good side, and we're not going to have it easy. And they proved that yesterday, that they are a very formidable side. And saying that Uganda, as we all know, it's a football country who's been around for years now. And, personally, I wouldn't like to shift, our performance to the crowd or anybody. I believe that, sometimes you have a good day. Sometimes, there could be some few tactical problems, and that is some of the things that we saw. We made sure that we correct any mistakes that came along, and then make sure that, we put out a very good performance. Talking about what happened in Brazil, we all know, and I wouldn't like to revisit Brazil issues for now. But as a coach, I always, accept blame. If you perform well, you accept it. If you win, fine, you get a glory. If you lose, you need to accept it. And for me, I accepted the fact that, you know, the performance was not the best. You know, we could have done much, much better.
Black Stars defender Jonathan Mensah has called for Black Stars focus ahead of their trip to Lomé to face Togo in Wednesday's Group E 2015 AFCON qualifier after failing to beat Uganda. The 24-year-old who partnered with John Boy in defense that missed the entire squad are disappointed over their World Cup campaign and are unhappy.
We understand your frustrations. We understand as well, because if we win, we're happy. The nation is happy. We draw, the nation is not happy. We lose, the nation is not happy. So, you know, we take all the opinions from the fans, from the people into consideration and see if they're right or not. Because you can't just give your opinion and I just agree. So we will just put that into consideration and talk to my teammates, see if we can do that. Because we play, we get bonuses, we can donate to any charity you want, or whatever the coach wants or the management wants. So